Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast, your guide to food in Oklahoma. And you are joined, as always, by your hosts, Nabil
and Ashley.
And we have a very special guest with us this week, James Wu, with multiple things. But you might know him, well, actually, you might know him from a lot of different things. La Brasa, Kong's, Greystone.
Nompton Social.
Yeah. The list goes on. Camps.
Yeah.
Right.
Camps, yeah.
Yeah. So, but today I think we're going to have our focus on La Brasa. But welcome, James. Thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Just have to
guys.
keep coming back and talk about everything else.
Thanks for having me. This is pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming through.
Absolutely.
So let's get started with our Eat of the Week, which I haven't thought of mine yet.
So early in the week, right?
Right. I think I'm gonna, I do know mine, but I went first last time. You want to go?
All
right.
So Serena and I recently hosted a housewarming party or apartment warming party.
Sorry I couldn't make it.
And I know, right? Thanks a lot, man.
Sorry.
And we were trying to think of fast things that we could make because we had, maybe like 4 hours to prep everything.
Sure.
And we came up with the idea. Well, she's found, how you see these videos online and people make these
10-minute meals.
Yeah. And they make making it seem so easy.
Right.
But I did like...
And it's sped up.
Right. I did like this concept, though. So they made sliders from Hawaiian rolls. So essentially you're making 12 or 24 if you buy the big pack of Hawaiian rolls at a time. And so that's what we did. I got a rotisserie chicken, so I didn't make the chicken or anything myself. Took shortcuts, a lot of shortcuts. Rotisserie chicken, shredded it, diced it, caramelized some onions and some garlic and smoked paprika, things like that. Put the rotisserie chicken in there, some barbecue sauce.
Sounds really good.
So made like a little barbecue chicken.
That does sound good.
Put it on the Hawaiian rolls, put some cheddar cheese, some caramelized onions, and baked them so they got melted and together.
Ooh, yeah.
And
that sounds like a gourmet style Hawaiian sliders right there.
There you go. The theme of the party was tropical.
Oh, okay.
So
Hawaiian.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Right.
Thanks for catching on.
Yeah. No, I love Hawaiian sliders. I actually make quite a bit of those for my kids.
Oh yeah.
I'll just take like something fast, if they're super hungry and they want something quick. Just take some turkey and American cheese, put it in a toaster with the Hawaiian roll, and
there you go.
Done.
Done.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really
the
really
Hawaiian
good.
roll just has it's such
that
a great
unique
vessel for any
For
soda
sure.
slider. Yeah.
For sure.
So those turned out. I think I'm gonna add that to a regular hosting repertoire. Just Hawaiian sliders. Because
Nice.
you make a batch and it's 24 and you put 2 on a tray, so that's like 48 sliders. You just knock them all out instead of making. I wanted to make individual ones because I love making burgers.
Yeah.
And so making the individual sliders, but that would obviously take a little bit longer.
Those Hawaiian sliders would probably good too with like candied or braised pork belly or something.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And with those onions that you were talking about earlier, a little bit of barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
That'd be really good.
Those onions were really good.
And any onions that are grilled or fried, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
True story. All right, James, what's your Eat of the Week?
My Eat of the Week. So this week, I actually, when you say Eat of the Week, just somewhere I ate at this week, or
Yeah,
what?
just
Your favorite thing that you
favorite
ate.
thing you ate. It could be something you made or somewhere you ate.
I'm not gonna lie, I Postmates a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I usually, because I'm usually at the restaurant, every Friday and Saturday at La Brasa, and during the week, I taste a lot of my food, but I don't ever actually eat a lot of my food. So when I'm at home with the kids and my wife, we Postmates a lot, and we've been Postmating this place called Szechuan Bistro.
Yes.
Have you been
Western
there?
Memorial?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay,
good.
so it's really good as far as Postmates goes. So yesterday, for the first time, I was with my wife when we were working out, and she asked me if I actually wanted to eat there, and I'd never eaten there.
Yeah.
So I came in there yesterday, and it was even better than actually Postmating.
Yeah.
The stuff on the menu that they had, they didn't even have it on the Postmate stuff.
I know the Postmate and Uber Eats menu sometimes seems so limited. I'm like, I know for a fact that you have a lot more than
Right.
No, so I've been kind of experimenting with Szechuan peppercorns lately at the restaurant.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, being Szechuan Bistro, I wanted to taste some of the stuff, but they had a really nice chicken dish with a lot of Szechuan peppers and chili peppers in there with fried garlic in there
Oh, yeah.
with chicken. So it had a nice little a little kick to it, and then a tingling from the Szechuan pepper.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And that's what I like a lot. Yeah.
I love it.
And I did that, and then they do the spinach p-tips. I don't. It's they wok toss the p-tips with garlic,
Okay.
and maybe a hint of soy, but it's really good. Something so simple but tasty, and
Right.
I was really impressed with that. And I don't know if you're familiar with Singapore noodles. It's real thin noodles, real
Yeah,
thin
yeah,
and light,
yeah.
but it's got a curry in it.
Yeah.
And you add like scrambled eggs in there, extra scrambled eggs. That's what I did
Okay.
yesterday. But
Yum.
that was actually that was the highlight yesterday as far as food wise goes.
Those sound
Nice.
It's
fantastic.
really
I haven't been to
good.
Szechuan Bistro in a long time because we used to live
How long
like
has
a
it been
mile
open?
and a half away from there. It's been open a few
Really?
years.
I just started discovering it because my wife was postmating it every Saturday and Sunday for the kids. Like my wife, like literally, if she likes something, she just keeps ordering it
Yeah.
till,
Oh, yeah.
till we
I
get
do
tired
that.
of it. So yeah, I think we're all
That's
guilty of that.
that's
but
one
yeah.
of the toughest things to break out of.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we always talk about trying new places, but then you want to get what's good, and
Your
that's
tried
what you
and
want.
true.
All
what
the time.
You know
I
you
know.
love.
Yeah.
That's. I think we're all guilty of that. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, my eat of the week isn't nearly as exciting as either one of those. I didn't eat out much this week or cook. However, I did have, and I don't want to sound snarky about this, it was surprisingly delicious. I don't go to this place very often, but we were in a hurry before my nephew's football game. So we went to McAllister's in Moore. And I don't know, to me, it's kind of one of those places. It's better than, some of the other sandwich shops that are quick, but not as good as other places. Anyways, I had the Savannah chopped salad, and I was pleasantly surprised with how good it was and how fresh it was.
Okay.
And while you were talking, I was pulling it up what all was in this salad. It had grilled chicken, dried cranberries, gorgonzola cheese, honey roasted almonds, tomatoes, cucumbers, perfectly arranged so that you enjoy it in every bite.
You had me at
Perfectly
the honey roasted pecans or almonds, whatever
Yeah,
nuts you had. Yeah,
almonds.
the almonds, right?
Yeah, I was sold on it with the gorgonzola
The
and
cheese, yeah.
the cranberries. The other option I was teetering between was this sandwich that had a orange cranberry sauce on it.
Sure.
I was like, well, I'm kind of in the mood for a salad, so I went with McAllister's Savannah salad. But anyways, it was good. It was my eat of the week.
Nice.
A little bit jealous of you guys.
McAllister's. That's the deli, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of them, right? Is it a franchise?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's and I've actually never been to a McAllister's. I've only had it when it gets
It's, like,
catered
catered
in for
in.
like meetings
Sure.
and lunches
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But the thing you hear about McAllister's is their tea.
Sweet tea.
Yeah.
You know, that's what my wife told me about.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they're known for their tea.
Did you have their tea?
I had a lemonade. I love hot tea, but I don't want I like cold tea, but I don't like sweet tea.
Oh,
I don't
you
want
can
it
get
to
the
be,
unsweet tea.
well,
But then they wouldn't be known for that, though.
right. They're not known
Are
for
they only known specifically for sweet tea?
Yes.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
People
Never mind then.
love their sweet tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always get half and half, or maybe just
That I like
non.
what is that? The Arnold Palmer? When you
Yeah,
said lemonade with the tea,
Yeah.
you know? That's
Yeah.
pretty good too.
Yeah,
so,
that is pretty good.
I just got the lemonade. It was decent.
That just reminded me of one of our good friends now, Rome Coffee Company.
Oh yeah.
They did a cold brew Arnold Palmer.
cold brew Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
So coffee and lemon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coffee. Yeah.
Lemon.
And it was
Lemonade.
surprisingly like very refreshing.
Right.
Made that was so good.
It was-
I
it
was
was
kind of
good?
hesitant. They were like, just try it.
Wow, okay.
They
And-
do a lot of innovative things with their
Right.
cold brew.
Yeah.
Wow, maybe that's the next big
The
thing,
next-
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they also have one that has lavender and vanilla bean
Well, anything lavender is good.
with
Yeah.
cold brew. It's so good.
Lavender is so relaxing too.
It is.
Lavender ice cream, it surprisingly is really
Oh,
good.
I
Yeah.
love lavender ice cream.
I
I've
had a
only
honey
it
lavender
once.
ice cream one time.
That sounds good too.
Yeah.
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 It was a little too lavendery, but it was like, it was good to start, and then it just
Nice.
built
Such
up on
thing for
itself.
me.
Yeah.
There's no
Lavender
such thing
and
as too
tea.
lavender.
No.
Lavender and hot tea with,
Yes.
and then just a little bit of half and half in there.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We
Yeah.
talked about this before. I had lavender honey. I got it from the farmer's market in Fort Collins, Colorado. And you could like really taste the lavender in this honey. 'Cause that's where the bees got their nectar
Right,
from.
yeah.
Was
Oh,
the
that's cool.
lavender.
That is cool.
I thought they infused lavender in it somehow, but it was from
It was-
the
That's
bees.
the bees
Right.
got
Kinda
their
cool.
nectar from the lavender. Yeah.
I think I might make some lavender, but I'll probably have to wait till springtime.
Right.
Now that we're in like fall and winter coming up. I
Bookmark
don't
that
think
idea.
I'll sell any of that right now.
So nice. Let's jump into La Brasa with James and get to know you a little bit
Let's
better,
do it.
Yeah,
James.
absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I'm lived in Florida for about 5 years. I'm from Vietnam, but I don't think I don't really remember anything. I was like 5 months, you know,
Right,
when I
okay.
came here. So I mean, so I tell people originally Florida, Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
My parents and I, you know, and then we moved to Washington D.C. After 5 years, and then to Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's been my home all my life, but I'd say I probably raised in Mustang. That's where I went to high school
Okay.
and college at OU for a while.
Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, as far as you know, most of my life, 30 years of my life have been in Oklahoma now. So
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
You call yourself an Oklahoman.
I do, and
Yeah.
I'm proud of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Oklahoma. You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
the growth and to be able to watch just kind of everything come into fruition as far as like the maps and just the development with the basketball team, the Thunder, and
Right.
everything. It's nice to see the growth and know that you're a part of helping the growth as well.
For sure.
All of us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
it's a good defining moment for the city, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you experienced it, you know, from the get go. You know, I've probably been here for about 10 years now.
Sure.
So I think I was here right before things started to accelerate.
Right.
Because like in the past 5 years or so, it's really accelerated.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I remember when Shepherd Mall had department stores like
Oh,
Dillard's.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know
And
that
Crossroads.
was Crossroads Mall, which
Oh,
is what
man.
now it's like a flea market or something.
don't know
Playa.
what it
There's
is.
like a college there of some sort,
it's,
right?
It's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, just malls in general, I think have changed. You know,
Yeah.
They really have. People are getting away from the malls.
Well,
I
it's just
think.
social media and online. I think online's basically
Amazon's killing it.
Amazon is yes, Amazon's taking over.
Yeah.
Amazon and anything online right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Even
agree.
food, right?
food too, yeah.
Postmates.
Postmates, yeah. What do you got? Postmates, DoorDash,
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
Yeah.
But there's another one I've got a brain fart. but-
Grubhub.
Grubhub. There you go.
Grubhub.
Yes.
There it is.
God, I think I might be a member in all of those.
I'm a member of 3.
Yeah. Postmates should honestly send me a VIP card, really.
Right? They should. So if you're listening, Postmates.
I do feel like they send you like you can get free delivery right now, and it's like, dang it, it's
Yes.
I just ate.
it's 10 o'clock, and I
you
brought
order-
my lunch today.
You
Right.
order free delivery and schedule it for dinner time.
No, that's what we do. Like we've developed this art. My wife and I, like if we do go out, you know, we Uber home. We'll call the Postmates to where the timing's perfectly
Oh,
right.
nice.
Where we'll get home and then like within 2 minutes our food will be there. So,
Nice.
There you go.
Working the
Perfect.
system.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, you gotta master it though.
Right.
That's funny. So, like we had initially mentioned, you know, you do a lot of things, and we'll talk mainly about La
Sure.
Brasa today.
Yeah.
But with all of that, you mentioned your wife, family. Like, how do you keep a balance between all of that?
You know, in the beginning, it's really tough because when I've had La Brasa now for 6 years. September 20th, 2013 was when I opened La Brasa. And in the beginning, just I think with any restaurant, you're basically committed there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
eat,
be
breathe,
there,
sleep
yeah.
at the restaurant, you know, whether you want to or not. So I think the most important thing in the beginning was having a family that understands and knows that, you know, it's a marathon, you know,
Right.
and just not a sprint in the beginning. And that was the hardest thing in the beginning, was try to balance those nights, you know, because she worked in the daytime and I worked in the evenings.
Right.
So the only time we actually were able to see each other really was maybe on Sundays and early in the morning when the kids would go to school and we'd catch up, or for coffee or lunch or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But after a while, once I developed consistency with the restaurant and just my employees, building the trust with all the employees, I was able to kind of let go a little bit loose, and then find a balance between wife and family and the restaurant.
Yeah. Right.
But in the beginning, I think I think most chefs can vouch for that, or restaurateurs, that it's always hard in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Because you're putting all your time and your passion project in that, and you want it to succeed so badly. So
and no one's going to care about it as much as you.
no one will ever
Right.
will, and you don't want to ever second guess anything. So the first 2 or 3 years, I probably put in 60 to 70 hours a week. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd come home, adrenaline gone. Once your adrenaline's gone, like after seeing like the last ticket, it's crazy. It goes fast,
Crash,
and like
yeah.
I'd come home and like I'd barely be able to walk on certain nights like that. I mean, that's
Wow.
how crazy it would be. But thankfully now I've been able to
You work
find
through that time.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
So the last 4 years, the last 2 years have been a smoother transition, for me, and it's allowed me to develop other concepts and stuff. So
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
So you can't just sit still.
No, I never sit still. No, I literally go to bed at like 2 and wake up at 7.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I've been doing that like constantly, and I'm always trying to find the next biggest thing and newest concepts to try to develop here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like when you're in that zone and that mindset, it's hard to
Turn
be
it off.
satisfied and be like, all right, I did that, now I'm done. No, it's like, okay, what else can I do?
Yeah.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. And my kids are so young. They keep me kind of motivated and energized.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 42 right now, so I know I have like maybe 10 years left in the game. To do
10 good years left.
10 girls to 10 good years, or maybe even 5 to just like just to go at it, like
Right.
like
Then you might be
full.
waking up at 9 and not 7.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of do everything I can now and have no regrets.
Yeah.
And later say, hey, you know what? I tried and I did everything I could.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
accomplished
Yeah,
a lot.
right.
There you go.
Very nice. So how did your passion for food begin?
I think my passion for food kind of started in the household with my family. We didn't grow up with tons of money or anything, so my parents cooked at home a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they cooked various things. Being Asian, we did a lot of stuff with soy sauce, fish sauce, garlic, curries, and all that. So kind of eating at home, I've kind of developed the taste buds. Eating at home all the time. Instead of just eating out.
Right.
But over the years, as I started traveling a little bit more, I started having an affinity more for food and culture. Going to Paris, London, New York City, Miami, DC, all these places. I started, trying different things, and I started seeing culture, develop in other cities that weren't here yet.
Yeah.
Going back to La Brasa, being the Peruvian restaurant.
Right.
The first time I would visit, my grandmother lived in Washington, D.C., in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is like a little Jewish neighborhood. But in that Jewish neighborhood, there was a really good Peruvian restaurant. There's a little hole in the wall, but they were known for their chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, it was the Peruvian chicken. It's called the pollo a la brasa.
Okay.
So, every year I would go visit my grandmother, and I was young at the time, and that was the only place I could walk to. So I would just walk to to that place and just get the chicken.
Yeah.
And they had the green sauce, which is the cilantro cream sauce.
yeah.
So that's when I first learned about what Peruvian food was. But then I didn't even know what Peruvian cuisine really was until later when I opened La Brasa, and then I ventured to Miami and learned actually about Miami and Chicago, and then learned about like what Peruvian cuisine was really, and outside of just the chicken.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
You know what's crazy? That chicken at La Brasa is so amazing. Yours.
thank you.
And that green sauce.
Yeah, the cilantro cream sauce. Yeah.
And I hate cilantro.
Right.
But I
Wait,
love.
you actually eat that?
I do.
Okay, that's surprising.
I know it is. I like both of the sauces. Actually, what's the other one?
The ají amarillo. So you have a ají verde sauce, which is the cilantro cream sauce, and then the ají amarillo, which is a Peruvian pepper. So we import a lot of our peppers from Peru.
Okay.
There's 3 peppers that we import: is the ají limo, the ají amarillo, and the rocoto. And those peppers are kind of used. We use those. We cook them and blend them down, and we use that to make our ceviche and then some of our sauces.
Nice.
So that's why when people come in, they taste that flavor, and they try to go home and maybe emulate it or mimic it. You can't because
you don't have
those peppers you have to kind of import them from.
And
Peru.
I will say those sauces are
so good.
fantastic. I'm a condiment freak.
Yes.
Me too.
And because I feel
Big
like
time.
that's what adds the extra flavor to the food.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all those sauces
They're
are
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a condiments guy myself. So.
Whenever I come in, I'm like, they're like, all right, what sauce do you want? I want all of them.
Right.
But I feel bad saying that, so then I'll pick like 2 or 3, and then I'll be like, wait,
all
can I
of
get
the
that
sauces,
one as well?
please.
Next time you just gotta say, hey, can I get chef special all the sauces, please? Can I get the full lineup?
Oh, I would do it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you said you opened La Brasa in 2013.
Yes.
So your inspiration behind this restaurant came from the little place, the little hole in the wall by your grandmother's.
Yes, and then when I started going to New York City and some of these other cities, I started seeing like the Pollo La Brasa everywhere. So that's kind of what started it in the beginning. But then how it started, La Brasa actually started was my wife had worked at an attorney's office, and she was telling me that I needed to check out this Peruvian restaurant called Inca Trail in Oklahoma City.
Oh.
And I'd never even heard of it. So when I saw Inca Trail, I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was like a laser tag place, and it was like over this little village over there off May. But I came in there, and I started eating there for a little bit and tried some of the cuisine. Met the chef there, and then he and I actually collaborated, and then we did La Brasa in the beginning.
Okay.
So we did it the first year. After that, he and I had a falling out, and then that's when I took over the entire restaurant and added new dishes, more Peruvian dishes, and all that stuff. But from there, I went to Miami and Chicago and some of the restaurants there, and asked the chefs if I could like talk to them and watch them and all that. And that's kind of how my inspiration more towards Peruvian cuisine kind of developed.
Okay.
Might be a little bit more hands-on.
Yes. And I've always had, La Brasa is inside Camps building, which is the oldest grocery store. It was the oldest grocery store. It was there since 1910. And when I had it then, it was an old butcher shop, a coffee shop, a deli, and all that. And I was butchering meats. And back then I was thinking like, what the hell am I going to do? Like learn how to to bone, like take off, like make a chicken breast boneless, how to cut a ribeye, how to make a French crown roast. But surprisingly, learning all that then led me to La Brasa now, because I was able to distinguish between the cuts and the grades of meat,
That's
the
true.
different styles of chicken, as far as organic, grass-fed beef and
like how that
and
makes
Angus,
a difference. to
how
everything.
everything did. I toured some of the farms and stuff. So from there, I kind of, back then I developed already, but I didn't really know. It kind of led to what La Brasa
You
is
didn't
now.
realize that was kind of setting you up for your future.
Exactly. Didn't know anything like that.
Yeah,
But
That's really cool.
It kind of helped.
In my personal food quest right now, I'm like at that stage where I am trying to butcher more and learn more about the different types. Not necessarily cuts as such, but like the types and the quality.
Like
and really,
select, standard, prime,
Right,
choice, Angus,
Yeah.
there's so
Wagyu.
many.
There's
so
a lot.
many.
Yeah, with technology too, now comes more, and
Right.
and going back to culture, now that the U.S. is like, there's more culture, you get to see beef from Australian Wagyu to Japanese Kobe.
Yeah.
Right.
So all that, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot to learn.
It is a lot, and I mean, and especially how to learn how to butcher something correctly.
Right.
I mean, it's an art. I mean, you see it on TV all the time, right?
Yeah.
Where
They just make it look so easy.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's
actually,
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can butcher a chicken real well.
I don't think, I mean, whenever I get, this is going to sound silly, but when I get a rotisserie chicken and I'm like, ripping the meat off,
Yeah.
Shredding it.
shredding it, yeah. I'm terrible at it. I like forget about places, and my mom, like I cook with my mom a lot, and she'll be like, Ashley, you left all this meat. And I'm like, I didn't
even know that existed.
I didn't know it was, where was that?
Yeah.
No, I'm not good
No,
at
even
that.
when I had the meat market back then, I mean, God, I'd probably have to like literally skin 50 and 100 chickens a day.
Oh my
And like
gosh.
cut them up into quarters for customers that came in that want it all deboned and all that stuff, you know,
Yeah.
or like have it remove the wishbone, things that I never even knew like existed.
that
and
is
all
an
stuff.
I
art.
haven't really gotten into deboning.
Yeah.
I
No,
can
but
cut out
it's
the
cool.
drumstick, the wings, the breasts, the
Right.
thigh.
No, it's an art for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and I still leave a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
let's not get into that.
Yeah, no, but going back to, you know, La Brasa with this, so I learned more about the instead of just the Peruvian cuisine, I started doing my due diligence. And during that time, I started seeing, it was like a renaissance of Peruvian culture and cuisine in the U.S., you know, with Gaston Curio at the time. He was the #1 chef in Peru, but he brought ceviche over to the U.S. and kind of, and all over Europe, and kind of made it big. The Peruvian style ceviche.
Nice.
So that's when I started hearing more about other stuff as far as Peruvian food goes. You know, the first time I ever had actually ceviche was at Rick Bayless's place. He next to Frontera Grill. He did another restaurant as well called, I think, Topolobampo. It's a Michelin star. Both of those are Michelin stars, but I had his ceviches and I took pictures and tried them, kind of deconstructed it a little bit, you know, and came back and kind of put a twist on it and stuff.
Nice. No, I talk about La Brasa a lot. Your restaurant is
Appreciate it.
one of my favorites.
Thank you.
I've said it many times, like top 1 to 3
Top pickings.
top
Yeah.
restaurant. I love it so much, and I went for my birthday,
Thank
and
you.
my best friend Mary actually introduced me to it.
Oh, really?
Probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And just recently, I don't know how long it's been now, but you did kind of a whole renovation,
Did a makeover.
a
Yeah.
makeover on the inside, which is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, like I don't think I can explain it well enough of how beautiful, and there's so many different nooks.
Right, little private dining areas and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made some changes. I'd have to say probably in the last 2 years. You know, when I went to New York, there's a really cool restaurant there in Miami. Those were the 2 spots that kind of inspired, you know, the second transformation of La Brasa. The first time, it was more of a farm-to-table rustic feel. You know, now it's more of a like flowers, florals, street art, and all that.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
the street art. I love all the peacocks and the peacock
Yeah, well,
feathers.
I'm trying to think if I've been there after the remodel.
You would know it.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Yeah.
It's literally
It's-
night and day. It's
Gorgeous.
I'm oblivious sometimes.
yeah. No. You'll see. It's a lot different.
Yeah,
Definitely,
it is. And just the colors are so vibrant.
Have you been to Wynwood in Miami?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay. If you ever go to Miami, you should go to Wynwood.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a whole district area, and it's all street art.
Nice.
So
Okay.
someone bought all the buildings there, and basically restaurants or business that go in there, they have to put street art around everywhere. And
nice.
what they did was he commissioned all the most famous street artists all around the world, from Obey to Tristan Eaton. I mean, the list goes on, but he brought all these people in, and they did the whole area. It's called
That's
Wynwood
cool.
Walls.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's kind of how Plaza developed, but that's
Oh, okay.
kind of when I first fell in love with street art. And I took that and came back and started, you know, putting
Yeah.
street art all over La Brasa and stuff. And
I feel like every wall, there's so many Instagram photo op walls. Seriously.
No, and that's kind of, you know, when I did the remodel of La Brasa, I wanted to make sure that every area was an Instagrammable moment for someone.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, you know, with the rise of social media
Yeah.
and phones, and, you know, every person on their phones, you know, I feel like if they're going to take a picture, you want to give them something that captures a sense of the restaurant too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so
That's smart.
yeah.
It's got such a cool
And when I
vibe.
did the street art, it wasn't just I took street art and threw it on there. Every street art that I've done on there has a meaning to it as well. So
That's
you know,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's
really cool.
gorgeous. And I feel like if you have not been there, one, the food. I mean, it's one thing to go somewhere that's just a cool atmosphere, fun experience, but if the food isn't just as great, then it's kind of like, want.
Yeah.
But the food is
Thank
so
you.
incredible.
It's fantastic. And we'll talk about the chicken in a second, but I also wanted to mention there's a little bit of a Korean flair to the menu as well.
There is, because, you know, one of my actually favorite food wise is Korean food. So when I went to Gaston's restaurant in Chicago, he has a restaurant named Tanta. And it's a really famous restaurant. He has several. He has Lamar and all these places, but Tantra was one of his restaurants. And I had already eaten Korean food, you know, so many times with the bibimbap and all that stuff. You know, one of my favorite restaurants actually in the city, we'll talk about that later, is Korean House. But the dulce hot bibimbap is one of my favorite dishes. And I wanted to actually just put it on in the beginning, and I was like, well, that's not really Latin, you know.
Right.
Right.
But when I went to some of these Peruvian restaurants, I started seeing them, because I don't know if you're familiar with Peruvian culture, but it is fusion. Fusion was originated there, because as far as Peruvian cuisine goes, it's categorized in Nikkei, which is Japanese, Chifa, which is Chinese, and then you've got your Inca, which is your Amazonian stuff, and then your Spanish, which from the Spanish settlers, and then your African, the slaves, and they brought over the beans. So hence ceviche was taken from the Spanish, or excuse me, the Peruvians, as well as the Japanese fishermen. So on the boats.
Okay.
So when they would go fishing out on the boats, they didn't have anything. So what they took was just lime juice then. So anything fresh, they would put the lime juice. So that's kind of how the Japanese people would cut the fish, and the Peruvians were scared to eat it. So they would try to cook it down with the lime juice.
Okay.
So that's kind of how ceviche evolved
Nice.
in
Interesting.
Peru, yeah. And chifa, the Chinese immigrants, when they moved to Peru, they brought over the soy sauce
Okay.
and the garlic and all that. And then that's how the Chinese culture of Peruvian cuisine developed. There's a guy named Che Wang, one of the famous Peruvian chefs, Chinese chefs, and he does a lot of fusion like that. But that's kind of how. So once
How it kind of fused.
right, there wasn't Korean yet, you know. So I would thought like, you know what, maybe I can develop some Korean, Peruvian dishes. So that's why I came up with the Korean short rib tacos and the bibimbap. So I cooked some of the stuff in Peruvian spices and all that stuff too.
Okay.
So it gives it a little bit different of a taste than your actual traditional Korean dishes and
Okay.
stuff. So yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good story.
Yeah,
That's
do
very
a
interesting.
little spin on things and keep it interesting.
Yeah,
Right.
and I like to call it, you know, cola cooking. So Korean Latin, Kola.
There you go. Cola.
So
There you go.
yeah,
Trademark that.
So I think, I mean, there's a lot in Peruvian food.
Yes.
But I think the center point, at least what my mind goes towards, it gravitates towards that chicken,
Yeah.
yes.
right? That's been, how many hours did it cook for?
Well, we marinate it for about 24 to 36 hours.
Okay.
I mean, literally, my guy comes in, uses over 20 something spices.
Wow.
You know, 5 of them being Peruvian, the Peruvian peppers and some spices and stuff. But yeah, he comes in, marinates that for about 24 to 36 hours. You know, put them on the skewer, and we cook it over wood and charcoal, so it gives it that nice charcoal taste to it.
Yeah, that smokiness.
Yeah,
It's,
right.
It's delicious.
And that's what I mean. If you go to Peru, like out in the streets, it's actually Peruvian street food. So in Peru, you'll see a lot of the guys put them in like barrels, you know, like metal. They'll self-build,
Yeah.
and they'll do a boil brasa version out in the streets everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like when you go to maybe Jamaica or the Caribbeans, you see the guys doing Jamaican jerk chicken and pork, you know, and they have their own self-made grills and all that. That's the same thing in Peru. It's
That's cool.
So basically, it's probably just like Peruvian barbecue, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how every culture has barbecue,
Right.
you know, and
This
you know
is-
you got
this is
Korean
the- This is
barbecue.
it, yeah.
That the Peruvian, that's the pollo a la brasa.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's fantastic. And one of my favorite things to do is go there and order the family style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you get tons and tons and tons of chicken. You get all the sauces.
And the condiments.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. We've got a lot of condiments that
Yeah.
goes with the family style. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think you have naan as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we do
you
naan
serve-
bread. Tortillas, the white corn tortillas on there.
Yeah,
And then we'll do some lettuce wraps on there, some herbs, and then your kimchi, and then your spices and sauces and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Wow.
But it's really
It's-
good. It's cool because you can do that, and literally you can eat it by yourself, which is really good, or you can combine the sauces. And surprisingly, if you combine chimichurri with like a jalapeno soy,
Right.
you get a different taste than
Oh,
just eating the
yeah.
chimichurri. So you can never really get tired of that, you
Yeah.
know. And recently we just added the parrilla, which is you get your sliced flank steak, and then your chicken, and then also onions, peppers, and sausages, smoked sausage.
okay,
So that's the newest one we just add on there. That's our most popular right now.
okay,
Wow, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Gonna have to make another trip back.
right. I'm gonna have to take like 6 people with us,
Right.
or you just take it all to go.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite item on the menu?
God, favorite item. I don't know if I really have one.
Pick your favorite child.
Yeah, I know, right? That's basically. I mean, I think over the years, originally it started off as a pollo a la brasa, right? But you know, when you eat it so often, you want to, as a chef, you know, you want to make up other dishes,
Right.
You know, so from the pollo a la brasa, then became the lomo saltado, which is another Peruvian dish with the sliced beef tenderloin, onions, and the tomatoes. But on our tomatoes, we do it different. We cold smoke the tomatoes, so when you bite into it, you get a burst
of flavor.
of cold smoke water that comes out of the tomatoes,
Oh.
and then with fried potatoes. So I did that different than your traditional. I don't claim that we're a traditional Peruvian restaurant. It's just I take Peruvian cuisine and I give it my take on it.
Right.
Nice.
You know, make it a little bit with my fare on it and
Yeah.
stuff. But
That's what you got to do, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I mean, but if I really had a favorite one, God, it's got to be the dulce hot bibimbap. It's
Yeah,
just,
that is so good.
you know, just because on the
Crunchy
cast
rice.
iron, yes, the crispiness on
I'll have to
the
try that.
rice.
I haven't tried that yet.
You haven't had that?
good.
Oh my gosh! And it comes out sizzling like a fajita, and you've got the meat on there, all the vegetables, and you let it sit there, and you can hear the sizzle. And then after that, you mix it all up with the fried egg on top.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a party in your mouth for
amazing.
sure.
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Do you Uber Eats that?
Huh?
Do you Uber Eat that?
I've never done Uber Eats, but I know we do Postmates and
Or
DoorDash and all.
Postmates?
Yeah,
Postmates?
Postmates that?
yeah. You know, I've Postmated my food before though. I can't lie. But I didn't do it for myself. I did it for my kids. You know, and my I did it for my wife and kids. But I also wanted to see how my staff would prepare it as well.
Nice.
You know, sometimes you gotta to see if everything's done
Test
correctly when
it,
you're not there
yeah.
though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
A little secret shopping.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you need anyone to secret shop for you, let me know.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do.
So if no one has ever been, if someone has never been to La Brasa, what would you say are like the must try items, like from an appetizer to an entree?
You know, I'm proud of like every dish. I mean, every item that we put on out there. I mean, we sell everything. There's not one. I mean, if there's the most popular, obviously the pollo a la brasa is.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a must try. But for someone that's never been there, as far as appetizer goes, I would have to say the chicken tamales
Oh, those are good.
or the shrimp tamales are really good, or the Korean street tacos. You know,
Okay.
the with those
Yeah.
two are
I've had
probably
the street tacos; those are good.
yeah, the Korean
Those are
tacos, yeah, with the
fantastic, yeah.
short ribs,
Yeah.
the kimchi, the slaw in there,
That is
chipotle mayo.
delicious.
And then the tamales, basically, I did a deconstructed tamales with the chicken. I take our pollo a la brasa, I pull the chicken out, and then I take the cilantro cream sauce on there too, with the heavy whipping cream, and then with Parmesan, prosciutto, diced prosciutto, and smoked corn. So I make I reduce the sauce, and I put that over the tamales. So it's not like your typical
So
Mexican
good.
tamale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And then the shrimp one, kind of similar, but it's a creamy garlic sauce with candied bacon on there, and smoked corn, feta cheese, and the Parmesan cheese.
And
garlic.
also the ceviches.
The ceviche. Oh, yeah. The ceviche, it's cold right now, so I'm not thinking ceviche.
Right.
But the ceviche, I would have to say we have the best ceviche in the city. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really unique. You won't find another taste similar to the ceviche, Peruvian style ceviche. The mixto is one of our most popular, as well as the tuna ceviche.
Yeah.
But as far as
so
entree
good.
goes, we always recommend, if you two were to come in, the De La Brasa. So you're getting the best of everything. You're getting a half chicken, our miso glazed Chilean sea bass, and then a petite filet. So
Nice.
that way you get
That
to try
sounds
kind of
fantastic.
everything.
Yeah.
on there.
So we're going after this?
Sure.
So-
Love to have you guys.
No, I love it so much. I feel like I've tried almost everything on the menu. 'Cause everything you're saying, I'm like, oh yeah, that is so good. Oh yeah, you definitely have to try that. That's so good too.
No, it's really good. I'm proud of all that. And like recently, we just kind of elevated our dessert game too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, everything's
I
made
have
in-house.
not had any desserts.
Yeah, everything's made in house. We just added a strawberry tres leches cake. We have a tres leches already, but now we made a strawberry style tres leches,
Nice, that
which
sounds
is really
fantastic.
Yeah.
I think we had, when we were there, we've had the tres leches because that's one of our favorite types of cakes.
Yeah.
good. And then we just added about 2 or 3 weeks ago a rum pineapple upside down cake.
Okay.
Ooh,
This is really good, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
pineapple upside down.
Yeah, and imagine with rum on it, it's amazing. Yeah.
Ooh.
Why wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Rum on everything is good.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. So you guys do specials weekly or monthly. I know about the Wine Down Wednesday.
Yes.
What is that? 2 people?
Yeah, 2 entrees, bottle of wine, bottle of our house wines, and as far as house wines, we have several to choose from. It's not just one specific one. So there's 5 or 6 wines that you can choose from Malbecs to Chardonnay to Riesling, and it's basically 2 entrees and a bottle of wine for $45, which is a hell of a deal.
It's
So,
a
yeah.
hell of a deal.
It's a great date night, or even just
Wine down
yeah,
Wednesday.
wine down Wednesday. Yeah, it's the middle of the week to
Yeah.
get ready for the
Yeah.
weekend. So yeah.
Kind of get
Get
through.
past the hump day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get through the week.
And there's a lot of entrees on there. I mean, 80% of the entrees
Nice.
are on there, except for obviously the family style
Oh, yeah, yeah.
chicken,
Right.
But yeah.
Right. That makes sense. You
Yeah.
can't,
yeah. Do you do any other weekly or monthly specials?
Well, we always do the happy hour. Right now, I think we're about to launch Tapas Tuesdays.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so I'm gonna start
That's
creating a little bit
exciting.
more small plates that you can go in basically all night. So you'll be able to order different small types of tapas, not just Spanish, but everywhere. So I'm working on that right now.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna launch that like in the new year. But we're working on tapas and stuff on
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
I
that'd
like
be
that
fantastic. I
idea.
love tapas. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Some small place to share.
Yeah.
Got to do that. So, you've been ingrained with the restaurant culture and the scene throughout.
Yes.
And there's obviously been a progression. Where do you see this going? Like, what's the future?
First of all, I'm just humbled and amazed to just be surrounded by all these young, talented chefs, as well as I have great admiration and respect for all the older chefs, that have kind of paved the way, and I've watched everything, just learning and kind of watching everything, their hard work, and me kind of just jumping in, I have a lot of respect for the dedication for a lot of these chefs and just the growth now that I see, the passion for some of these people. So when you see things like that, it motivates you as well, You don't want to slack as well. So, you see all these young, talented chefs that are opening all these new concepts, it's good. It's great for the city. As far as that goes, I think it's, I think it has its pros and cons. It forces everyone to step up their game. With,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like every time I wake up, I hear a new restaurant opening,
Oh, yeah.
or soon to open, or a new development.
Yeah.
Every
day.
You're right, and that's my fear factor. And after talking to several chefs, I think that's for them as well, because I think the market just kind of oversaturates the market.
Yeah.
For the consumer, it's great, because there's more variety.
Right.
But I think
But at a certain point, too much variety
Correct.
is also not good.
correct, and I think eventually I think if it continues like this is just my opinion. I think it'll oversaturate the market if there aren't more businesses, jobs that come into the city.
Right.
You know, I feel like there needs to be more, you know, like Amazon did. Yes,
growth, right?
because like in Dallas, you know, your restaurants, like if you go to Dallas on a weeknight, your bars are all busy, your restaurants are all busy, like a majority. You know, in Oklahoma City, you know, after 7 or 8 on weekdays, it's pretty much a ghost town everywhere.
Right.
So that's my fear.
Yeah.
But as far as the talent wise, you know, and trying new restaurants, I love all that, you know. But you know, growth is always good, but growing too fast, you know, can be a bad thing, you know, kind of like,
because it'll recoil back too.
Right.
well, kind of like, I mean, if you follow like, you know, how fast the Thunder grew, you know, and all of a sudden to have it taken away so fast, you know, losing all the players, and now see where we're at, or even like with Energy, you know, Energy had this big boom,
Yeah.
you know, and you saw all these places, the guys that owned all the Energy, like Chesapeake, you know, Devon building all these huge mega places, you know, and then now, you know,
Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
So now where they at? So the same thing with the restaurants, you know, because it takes a while to open a restaurant, come up with a new concept, and raise the money.
Yeah.
You can't just do it. You know, it takes about a year to do that. So
Right.
a lot of the times, though, these people that open these restaurants, they're a year ago, and a year ago things might have been differently.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There might not have been this niche thing that they're doing.
Right,
And now
and
there could be.
gas may have been good, really
Right.
good. The Thunder may have been winning all the time. you know,
You might have had all your players.
yes, you know what I mean. So
But
all
hey,
that.
you know the future is strong. We've got a lot of draft picks.
No, I love that. No, I a lot of draft picks. Now, can we afford to pay all them? No, that's the trick. But
That's the different
but the thing is,
question.
I guess they're all on that rookie salary, which is good. But I love, you know, I love the Thunder. You know, I mean, a lot of my friends are, you know, Thunder players. They stop by and stuff. But I love the city. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's nice to walk into certain restaurants nowadays and look around and like, you know what, this doesn't feel like Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
5 years ago, I don't think any of us would have said that.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
right.
100,
Like
yeah.
you can walk into places and be like, wow, we actually have a place like this, or
Yeah.
you know, it kind of takes you away.
Yeah. Have
A
you
little bit.
you guys like coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been in that Eote, that new one?
Yes.
Holy cow.
And in Automobile Alley.
Yeah.
I have not
By the
been in
parlor
there.
right across. Now that's, talk about a coffee shop. That's like, I mean, yeah. It's like,
Coffee shop on steroids.
it is. It's like,
Really?
it's amazing.
It's really
No,
cool.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to get
And the
in there.
little atrium and little areas, like great for meetings and
Yeah.
everything. It's really unique. So to see, like I said, to see the detail just from a little coffee shop, to do things like that, it's a big step for Oklahoma City, you know. And with the food halls and all that, you know.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
I mean, like I said, I don't, you know, it's just a lot. It's overwhelming, you know. For
the strong
me,
will survive.
yeah.
You know, I mean, that's kind of how it goes.
Survival
I mean,
of the
it's,
fittest, I guess,
yeah,
yeah.
it's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm, for one, as a consumer, I'm excited
Right.
about all the new, fresh things opening. But
Let's just space them out a bit so we can try
yeah,
it all.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
Well,
used to
that-
have a list
you know,
that
that-
we were trying to tackle.
That's one thing that kind of shocked me, you know, out of everything. I like the Parlor and Collective, you know, like they're so close together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they happen like back to back almost.
Yeah.
Back
right?
to back, like in other cities, I don't even think they would even allow 2 food halls to be next to
Well,
each other.
and I kind of
Yeah.
think
You know, within-
what you were
within a mile.
talking about probably happened. They both
Yes,
started their
correct.
planning process at
And
the
no one
same
knew.
time.
Yeah, no one knew.
Neither one of them knew
Because
that
no
they
one,
were both planning.
no one ever wants to reveal their cards
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And then they ended up opening, I think, a month apart.
God, it was. Yeah. And that's, so when I first saw the
Both
Collective
very
open,
cool places.
They're both amazing. I mean, like I said, I have one of my good friends is Chef Vung over at Cafe Delice
Mm-hmm.
over at the Collective, and then Chef Jonas
Yep,
over
we
there
had
at
him on.
Graffiti.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to work for me when I
Yeah.
had
Oh, yeah.
camps back in the
Nice.
day. Yeah. He was he helped me bake cakes, and when I had Camps Deli, he also helped me over there.
Nice.
It was cool to, like I said, to see people
Yeah.
nowadays like step up and
Yeah.
like, you know, it was cool to see him when he was executive chef at the ranch and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
That's,
And
yeah,
we-
I
we
feel like
had
that would be really
him-
cool.
yeah.
We had Jonas on the podcast before Parlor opened.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He and I, we almost collaborated once,
Yeah.
and I'm sure eventually we'll talk about it later. But you know, he's a really talented young chef, just like Chef Fung is too. There's like I said,
Delicious food.
There's so many here. I mean, I feel like Michelin star, in other big cities are kind of a deal, but I think there's chefs here and restaurants here that just as good, if not better.
Right.
And I've eaten at a lot of Michelin stars. I was a foodie first before chef. So,
nice.
So that's kind of how, it all started. But, I've eaten at a lot of these restaurants here and I feel like they're a lot better, than some of these places that you see in Chicago, Miami, and LA, and New York.
They
get the notoriety just because they are there.
Yeah.
Big city, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we'll get there someday.
Yeah, for sure.
We're on our way.
Yeah, we are.
We're
definitely.
well on our way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what can Oklahomans expect to see from you in the future?
Well, hopefully, still all my concepts. But besides,
do you have anything brewing?
Yeah, I do. No, I do. I'm always, thinking of what to open next and conceptualize. I do travel a lot to Miami. I mean, I go to Miami at least 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
I recently just went to London and Paris this year in January.
Nice.
And I took my son to New York this year too. So
nice.
I've seen some really cool things that that I like that have inspired me. So I plan on doing something pretty soon, probably within the next 6 months actually.
Okay.
Yeah, possibly one maybe in the Paseo, or excuse me, not the Paseo, in Midtown. Sorry, in Midtown.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just put a LOI not too long ago on that.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, but no one
Can't
knows
really
about
talk
that.
about that
Yeah,
yet,
no,
right?
I don't. That's why I don't want to talk about it. But it is a cool concept. Again, another something that Oklahoma City hasn't seen yet.
Can I
That'd be exciting.
ask, is it food or
It's
nightlife?
both. No, it's both. Because I feel like I started out first in the food business. Then I ventured to the nightlife and then back to the food. But one thing I really could take from the nightlife part was the hospitality.
Yeah.
When you go to clubs in other cities, like the way they treat everyone, they make them feel special. So that's what I wanted to do at La Brasa. So I took what I had learned from the nightlife and brought it to La Brasa as far as hospitality. So I think the most important thing in any restaurant, besides the food, is the location and hospitality.
Yeah.
I want to make every individual feel like they're the most important, that they're not in my restaurant, but at my kitchen table or in my kitchen at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I wanted to do. But so everything I've learned recently as far as La Brasa, when I evolved with La Brasa, I wanted to make everything fun because I felt like, the times are changing. It's no longer eating at Chili's or, these little
Right.
restaurants that are just restaurants. If you look at all the resturants now, they all have a cool ambiance. They're throwing-
It's an experience.
It's an
Yes.
experience now, And that's one thing that I think a lot of these restaurateurs here have learned from the big cities. So I kind of wanted to take that too. So restaurants that I do now, I want to make it a little bit more fun of an experience. So you will see food, like I said, I kind of am experimenting with the tapas, at La
Yeah.
Brasa, and I think that's probably leading to something else, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
All right.
All right.
Well, promise us this, that before your grand opening, you come on the podcast again and we talk all about this new potential concept.
absolutely. Only if I can bring in the dishes, though.
Please.
You know what?
We love treats.
No food, please. We don't eat on this podcast.
Okay.
We just talk about food.
All right.
No, we would absolutely love that
Yeah.
so much. We're going to hold you to it.
Yeah, I'm
right.
down.
All right. So let's dive into the kitchen sink. You ready for
Let's
this?
do it.
So kitchen sink questions we ask every guest. They're just fun questions.
Okay.
So first question, what is your favorite ingredient?
Favorite all time?
Yeah.
All time.
God, garlic.
Yes.
Yeah,
I had a
everything's
feeling you were
Rich.
going to say
God,
garlic.
everything
Good
garlic.
choice.
Well, first was garlic. I mean, sriracha kind of became a craze for a while.
Yeah.
So everything I was putting sriracha in. I did a honey citrus sriracha vinaigrette.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. But lately, going back to Szechuan. So I've been kind of experimenting with Szechuan peppercorns.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to do some dishes that have a little bit of Szechuan and Peruvian flavors to them.
I will love that.
So that's kind of what I've been doing like on my off days actually. So that's kind of what I do on like Tuesdays to Thursdays. I'll go in there and I'll experiment.
Do some R&D.
Yep. And I'll do that. But I was messing around with these potatoes that I had not too long ago. I tried them at some Szechuan place, and I kind of wanted to do something like that with my take, and then do a filet mignon, a wok tossed filet mignon with the Szechuan peppercorns, like all over it to get that numbing sensation with the peppers, and then with a little bit of fennel seeds on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, toasted fennel seeds on it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'd try it.
and cumin seeds too. So
Oh, nice. That sounds really
fantastic.
good. Yeah, it does.
So when's that on the menu?
I don't know. I've been working on that though.
All right.
Really, I've been working on that all last week.
Excited about that.
Do you do digressing from the sink a little bit? Do you all these like experiments? Do you ever put them out as like a special for the day or something?
I do.
Just to like test it out.
In fact, some of those dishes that you see at La Brasa now actually started off at specials.
Okay.
Nice.
So when I first
Kinda
did
testing it
when I
out.
first did La Brasa, we only had like 14, 15 items on there. You know, so now we have like over 30 something.
Right.
Yeah, but a lot of that was really from me just cranking it out as a special, and then getting really good feedback, and then putting it on the
Putting it
menu.
on.
And
Yeah.
a lot of times too is me putting a name on the dish, and it wouldn't sell, and then I'd come
Change
back,
the name.
change the name, and it would sell like crazy.
Yeah.
A good example is my drunken noodles now. Back then I called it something else and didn't sell for anything.
Yeah.
As soon as I put drunken noodles on it, now it's like one of the most
That's
popular
so
People
dishes.
kind of know what to
funny.
expect at that point, right?
I guess so. Yeah, it's crazy how certain
That's
things,
really funny.
So
Yeah.
what's the best day to go in and get specials?
on
Tuesday, Thursday?
No, just whenever you call me.
Okay.
Yeah, when you call me, you're like, hey, you know what, James, I'm craving something. I'll crank something. But usually, honestly, if you want a good special, I'm there every Friday, Saturday.
All right.
Okay.
And you can always order anything off the menu too,
Cool.
And it's like, you know what, I'm in the mood for such and such. I could do something and give it my twist on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like
Good to
doing
know.
stuff like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting. You don't know what you're about to get.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that about food.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. So very extensively traveled. And again, I always presume strange things trying equals travel.
Not
but
necessarily.
Not
but
necessarily.
A lot of times it's because a lot of answers we get, it's because
I
of
tried it somewhere where
they were
was.
traveling. Yeah.
Not necessarily in Oklahoma. But what is the strangest thing that you've tried?
The strangest thing that
The
I've
strangest
tried.
thing that you've tried.
God, when I was young, my dad, Vietnamese people eat some unique things.
Yes, they do.
You know,
We should try. We should start saying.
and
What's the
I
most
want to
unique
say,
thing
I want to
that you've
say it's like, what is it? Is it called baloo?
I don't know.
Where it's
Like
like,
the- like
it's
the
an
bear
egg.
in
No,
Mowgli?
no, it's an egg. No, there's an egg and there's a freaking little chicken in
Bird?
it, bird in it.
Oh no.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yes,
I've
You
heard
ate
of that.
when I was young, and it was,
gosh.
and I will never do it again. But that was
It
probably,
scarred you?
yeah, it was weird.
I have heard of
You
that.
have heard of it?
Yeah.
I've heard of it
You can
too.
get it
I
at
don't know what it's
you
called.
can get it at the Asian market, but
Yeah.
but that's
Oh,
the only thing
gosh.
I've ever had that was unique. But
There's a little beak.
Peruvian culture. I mean, anticuchos. We did that for a while, which was veal heart,
Okay.
and I did marinated veal heart and grilled it. But that was really good. It sounds different, but the taste of it, was really good. But as far as like the weirdest thing I've ever had was definitely the egg thing with the bird in it.
Yeah.
Never again. Yeah.
And when people talk about or people think it sounds like a weird thing, like you said, the veal heart.
Yeah.
It really isn't,
No.
though. It tastes like I've not had veal heart, but I've had deer heart,
Tastes
or
just like chicken?
heart.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's got a different texture to it, but it tastes just however you prepare the meat.
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everything at the end of the day is about preparation.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, because a lot of times people say, "Oh, I tried that, but I don't know if it was I didn't like it or if it was the preparation that I
Right.
didn't like."
Right.
Yeah. That
There's
makes a difference.
There's a really good restaurant in LA called Animal.
Mm-hmm.
They'll bring in a whole animal, and then they'll use that, and they'll make all these dishes, like 15 courses
Wow.
out of
One.
Huh.
out of one animal.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've eaten there.
I mean, it sounds
before.
really cool. I like the idea,
Yeah.
but it also seems a little barbaric.
Yeah,
Like, here's a picture.
Wonder what
of
animal you're gonna get on the night you go.
the,
right?
the
Yeah.
deer that we
Right.
are about to consume.
but I had that one time, and a lot of those dishes are surprisingly good. Some of them were surprisingly not.
Right.
You know? So yeah.
Nice. All right. Switching gears. What's your favorite snack food?
Snack food, beef jerky.
Nice.
Yeah, but the Asian style beef jerky. Have you guys had that?
No.
So at Super Kangwin, if right when you walk in, you turn to the right, they have a curry beef jerky, and then they have one that's like a sweet, I don't know, sweet
They
teriyaki.
make their own?
No, it's Asian style beef jerky, but it's really good. You guys should definitely try
I would
it.
definitely get some.
I snack on that and honestly chicharrones. That's like my weakness.
Yeah.
Pork rinds.
Yeah.
God, chicharrones with like queso or just
Just by themselves.
just by themselves are good though. You know? Those are so good. Those are so good.
What is your favorite food show or movie?
You know, I as far as food shows goes, I watch several. You know, the Chef's Table is really good.
Yeah.
The Chef Show with Roy Choi is really good. I don't know are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with it. It was inspired from the movie, right?
Yeah, Chef. Yeah. So, but him and John, the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do the Chef Show.
Okay.
And he was the guy in also Iron Man.
Okay. Yeah.
John Favreau.
Yeah, John Favreau. Yeah. So he's director, and he did the Chef Show as well. He was a main actor in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they do the Chef Show, and they go around and to different restaurants, meet with the chef, and after that they make that same dish. That's really cool.
Yeah. I like that.
And then David Chang has a show called Ugly Delicious.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I
Which is
love
really cool.
that show.
Yeah. But
That's
as
probably
far
one
as
of my favorites.
as far as like movies and documentaries goes, I mean, that Chef was good.
Yeah.
And then there's a really good one with Chef Grant Achatz called Spinning Plates.
Spinning Plates. Okay.
I've
seen his episode on Chef's Table.
Okay.
Which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
You know, I have a video on my phone right now that recently he made my dessert for my wife and I. He plated it.
Oh yeah.
He basically rolled out like this acrylic thing on a table, and they came by and he made an abstract contemporary art dessert that
Did you
looked
go
like
to Alinea?
it was a linea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looked like a painting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was really
That's
cool.
that's one of the restaurants I really want to go to.
I went to Alinea. It was number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said I was foodie first.
Yeah.
Right.
And all that. But yeah, it was really cool and it was humbling too, you know, to be able to see like guy you're seeing on TV, didn't even see. He's really shy. I mean, extremely shy and reserved. I don't know if you guys know, he also had throat cancer back in the day.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, and he had it, but yet still.
And he lost his taste.
Yeah, lost the taste for a
Yeah.
while, but yet still had
Wow.
one of the best restaurants in the world.
Wow.
Because he understood like the flavors, so he was just
Right.
going off of the flavors.
Yeah,
That's
and he's
incredible.
which is insane.
Yeah.
he's kind of one of the first guys that kind of started the whole molecular gastronomy movement, you know, along with him and Hamara Cantu and the guy from Spain, Abui, the restaurant Abui. But yeah, but Spinning Plates, I highly recommend that.
Spinning Plates,
yeah,
All right.
it depicts, I think it's 3 families or two or three families, and Grant Achatz is one of them.
Okay.
And then you got a Latin family, and then another family in like Iowa. But in the end, it ties all those families together, and
Oh, that's
all
cool.
that.
Very
It's really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
You don't. It's unexpected.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, now
it's
I
really
expect
cool.
it.
Yes. Well, now you do. I'm sorry, guys, and for everyone else listening.
All right. So next question: what country or region do you think has a food scene or culture that you're most drawn to, besides Peruvian?
Besides Peru, gosh. Well, besides Peru, I think just Latin America in general, you know, and
Yeah.
Asian. I mean, those are the 2 regions I think are the most influential right now.
Yeah.
You know, French is so classic.
Yeah.
And American will always be American, but you know, I think with you know, immigrants coming over from mainly from Asia in the 70s, and then now Latin America now, you know, I think those have had a lot of impact on the food culture here.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
and
And the new flavors that people are experiencing.
well, what you do now is like the chefs, you know, are being innovative too. So they're taking the Asian and they're combining it, fusing it with the Latin.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now you're getting a whole new one, and eventually that'll be its own culture and own cuisine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Which
it
is
won't be
kinda how a lot of these were
Correct.
born initially.
right,
anyway,
and it won't
Yeah.
even be considered fusion anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah.
And finally, possibly the most difficult, although it may not be, favorite restaurant in Oklahoma City.
God, that is hard. Because if I say something, I might have enemies.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. No, if I really
We'll put a
did,
disclaimer, it changes.
yeah, no. I have a lot. I mean, I could probably sit here and tell you my favorite dishes from every restaurant,
Right.
you know, that I like, you know. But I guess if there is one, I will say it's probably Korean House.
Okay.
Korean house.
Yeah, I love Korean food, Korean barbecue there. I think it's the best.
Korean house. Where is that?
It's in Del City.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Korean barbecue. Basically, you grill the food.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I
all
love
that.
Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
It's so much fun because it's an experience.
Right. It
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
is. But the grade, the meat, the quality of the meats at Korean House, you know, and the dishes, by far better than all the other ones, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Ooh. All right.
So, and I love the banchan, which are all the side dishes like the kimchi and all that they give
yes,
you.
yes.
And then you ask for the lettuce wraps too over there.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite. But there is that new one, you know, that Szechuan place I was talking about called Yummy Noodle.
Oh, yeah. That place is good.
Good for like if you want to go in there and eat some spice and just sweat. You
On
know, they have
23rd?
noodles. Yeah, 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
It's really good. Yeah, noodles are really spicy. It's a new restaurant that I actually like. So.
That's a restaurant that I've been like dying to try, but it reminds me of. And you said you've been to New York a few times. I don't know if you've been to the Xi'an,
the bows.
the Xi'an Famous Foods or whatever that's called, and they have their spicy lamb noodles. It just reminds me of that, and like I just watched a documentary on how they make that and dive into that.
It's talented, too.
Yeah, it is insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It was really good. I enjoyed it very
Yeah,
much.
it's really good. I guess those two are my favorite, and obviously Szechuan Bistro. We've been ordering that quite a bit. My wife loves that, and the kids. But those three are my favorite, I guess, right now.
Nice.
You know?
Those
The
are
reason
good
why I haven't tried,
answers.
the reason why I haven't tried yummy noodles yet, because I always gravitated towards something I'd already had.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I want to try yummy noodles, and I'm like there, but I was like, nah, but I,
You know what? Can I be honest with you, though? Yeah. You know, before Yummy Noodles, my favorite out of all, besides the Korean house, was Tsubaki Szechuan.
Okay.
And they closed down. So the owners had a falling out.
Oh.
So
I didn't know there was a Tsubaki
Oh,
Szechuan.
Tsubaki Szechuan by far was the best restaurant in the
really?
city. Yeah,
Oh,
Chinese
wow.
restaurant. Yeah, easily. And it was in adjacent to the Asian market, Super Kang Win.
Yeah.
Yeah, the owners had a falling out, and then one ventured out, and the other one formed Yummy Noodles.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why some of that food is so good. And when I talked to them last time, because they don't have the entrees though that Tsubaki did, and the
How
entrees
long ago did they close?
maybe like 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay, I have been there before because they had soup dumplings.
They did too, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but
and
they
I
had
loved
this.
them.
They had this crispy beef with peanuts and the peppers. I don't know how they did it, but the peppers, the jalapeno red peppers,
Were also
were crispy.
crispy. Yeah.
Yes,
Ooh.
they were crispy. And I've never had any place where you could eat it like a chip like that.
Yeah.
In flavor.
Really?
It was amazing. Yeah, and they had a curry lamb on there that was really good. God, the curry lamb was amazing.
I only went there once, and it was because I was researching for somewhere that had
Sure.
soup dumplings.
Right.
And that's where you ended up.
I found that they did, and then my mom and I tried to go back, and they were closed.
Oh,
Exactly.
man.
But then that's how I also stumbled upon Yummy Noodle.
And Yummy Noodle has this the dumplings, you know, that are really good. They make from scratch.
Yeah.
And they have this soup, the dumpling. It looks dry, and you put it on a spoon, and when you bite into it, the
Is
juice
the
comes
soup
out.
Soup is
inside it?
inside it,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So basically, what they do
My
is,
favorite.
yeah, they freeze the broth in there.
Yep. See, I
Yeah.
had a theory of how they did
Yeah.
that. Did
Yeah.
we talk about
Yeah.
this?
Okay, yeah,
That's what I thought
Yeah,
they
that's how you
did.
do
They
it.
have the broth, and then,
Yeah.
they refrigerate it, and it kind of,
right, solidified.
yes.
Yeah.
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 All right.
That's the only way to get it in there.
Yeah.
Right.
well.
Oh, it's amazing though.
Or
But
they
yeah.
use a little tiny syringe.
Hey, you never know though. You know,
You never know.
maybe it started off with a syringe, and it's like, you know what, this is tedious.
we could do something easier.
We could probably do something easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that's happened in the kitchen too. Like at times, like we've all done something. We're like,
And then
man,
you
there's got to be
realize there's
another.
an easier
I could
There's
do it
got to be another
faster
way
somehow,
to do it
yeah.
faster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. James, it has been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Coming on.
Yeah, for sure.
This is nice.
And I can't wait to go back to La Brasa. And if you guys have not tried it, you have to go. It is an experience. It's beautiful. It's delicious.
Take your family with you.
Yeah.
I would love to see you guys.
And it's perfect for celebrations or just a wind down Wednesday to get through the work week. So
get through the work week.
Perfect for birthday parties too.
That's where I spent my birthday. I talked about it on the podcast and had a wonderful, wonderful time. So
thanks for having me, guys.
For sure. And you can follow La Brasa on social media. How can they find you?
On Facebook or La Brasa OKC on Instagram. And Open Table, you can always book reservations, or our website, which is labrasaokc.com.
Awesome.
Easy enough.
Easy.
Yep.
And you can follow us at OKC Foodcast on Instagram and Facebook. And if you'd like to send in some listener feedback, or if you'd like to collaborate, we'd love to hear from you. And you can email us at okcfoodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button so you know when the next episode is out. And share this podcast with a fellow food lover, because just like food, this podcast is better shared.
Absolutely. And until next time, friends, eat well and be happy. Bye.